We're going to call the village board meeting. Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under
indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Trustee Pierce,
Present.
Trustee Masek,
Here.
Trustee Peterson is absent. Trustee Dominiac. Here. Trustee Polis.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Hanson.
Here. Before we get started, Trustee Peterson, before she was appointed to the board, she had a prior commitment that she talked to me about for this evening. So that's why she's absent tonight. She was upfront with that whole situation, and there's no reason for me to have her try to cancel something that she couldn't get out of. So that's why she's not here tonight. So that's why her not being here. So other than that, I have nothing to report. Any citizens wishing to address the board? Anybody sign up? We have 2 items on the consent agenda. If the board's okay with those 2 items to be on consent, I'd ask for a motion. If we'd like to remove any of those, put them on regular business, let me know. So I'll need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
There's a motion from Trustee Pierce, and there was a second from, Trustee Polis made the motion and second by Trustee Pierce. Any questions, Trustee Pierce?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Masek?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Dominiac?
No question.
Trustee Polis?
No questions.
And Trustee Johnson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Pierce,
Aye.
Masek,
Yes.
Dominiac. Yes. Polis.
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
5 are voting yes, 1 is absent. This motion's carried. Under regular business, considerations to ratify the January 28th, 2021 payments of accounts payable is prepared by staff. I need a motion in a second.
I move to ratify payment of accounts payable in the amount of $197,631.02.
Okay, motion by Trustee Polis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, that's seconded by Trustee Johnson. Okay, Trustee Pierce. Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Masek?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Dominiac?
No questions.
Trustee Polis?
No questions, Your Honor.
And Trustee Johnson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Pierce,
Aye.
Masek,
Yes.
Dominiac. Yes. Polis.
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
5 are voting yes, 1 is absent. This motion's carried. Considerations of payments of accounts payable is prepared by staff. I'll need a motion in a second.
Move to approve accounts payable in the amount of $306,364.67.
Okay, motion by Trustee Polis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Trustee Johnson. Any questions, Trustee Pierce?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Masek?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Dominiac?
No questions.
Trustee Polis?
No questions.
And Trustee Johnson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Roll call, please.
Pierce,
Aye.
Masek,
Yes.
Dominiac. Yes. Polis.
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
5 are voting yes, 1 is absent. This motion's carried. Item 5, consideration of emergency ordinance ratifying the mayoral declaration of emergency relating to coronavirus ordinance number 21-02-03. I'll need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Okay, motion
Second.
by Trustee Masek, that's seconded by Trustee Pierce.
That waiving the second reading.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, that's waiving the second reading. Okay, and any questions, Trustee Pierce?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Masek?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Dominiac?
No questions.
Trustee Polis?
No questions, Your Honor.
And Trustee Johnson?
No questions, Your Honor.
And clerk, take roll, please.
Pierce,
Aye.
Masek,
Yes.
Dominiac. Yes. Polis.
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
5 voting yes, 1 is absent. This motion's carried. Item number 6, move to put into committee for further discussions. There's a few issues with the contract that the attorney asked to look at. So in order for us to get proper legal, we're going to put that into our committee, the whole meeting in 2 weeks, and hopefully have those questions answered. So item number 6, we're going to move to committee. Consideration of a resolution authorizing the administrator to execute a contract to replace the fence on village-owned property at Mary's Park in New Haven Subdivision with Advanced Fence, Inc. in the amount of $74,952. That's resolution number 21-09. I'll need a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Pierce. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by trustee Johnson. Okay, questions, trustee Pierce?
No questions, Your Honor.
Trustee Masek?
I just have one question.
Okay,
You know, when we do this fence, is it gonna be an intention someday to turn this over to the HOA? Because this is gonna be more than $74,000, because we're gonna have to add this to our insurance policy, you know, for any vandalism and whatnot. So I'd like to see this one-time moved if the homeowners association, you know, I don't know if they want to take ownership of the fence or whatnot, if we're going to maintain fences and HOAs.
well, it's a public.
It's a
public-
village park.
Yes.
So the fence is part of the,
No, I understand it's a village park. Just like in Clublands was once a village park and we turned that over.
yeah, at the request of the HOA. I don't know that the HOA is interested in owning the park, but the fence is an asset of the village that's become in very poor repair. And this was an item that was brought to us by the HOA. There was several items they brought. This would actually be budgeted next year, but to have a reasonable chance to get it installed, I would need to place an order prior, because the lead time on these things is months. If I were to wait until June, May or June to order this, it may not go in next year.
No, I understand it needs to get done. I was just future planning down the road, 5-10 years. Because some of those folks may be listening and might be something they might want to consider taking on in 5-10 years.
As the business manager, yeah, if the HOA had interest to take ownership of this park, I don't know that I would advise that we don't turn over ownership of this park, because it's a neighborhood park. It serves, that neighborhood. But as it stands now, it's an asset of the village. But
Right.
If there were interest, I think we would be interested.
I think Jim and I met with the president of the homeowners association last year. We had a couple issues out there, and the fence is actually not the problem because it's a vinyl fence. That fence should have lasted a lot longer. It's mostly the installation was done improperly. It was not done correctly. So that's one of the main problems. And I know Public Works looked into even replacing it last year, and I guess the back orders and just the timing wasn't good because you couldn't get product last year because obviously most of the fencing was back ordered for months. So I think this is an item that's owed to those folks out there. They've had issues with it, and I believe now's the right time. So we get this on order, and hopefully we'll be talking about this in our budget season. So that's the backstory on this. So, any other questions on that, Trustee Mason?
No, I know it's got to be replaced. It's just something that they might want to consider 5-10 years down the road, not saying now.
Okay. Trustee Dominiac?
Just for clarity, you're going to order this now, but it's not going to be paid for until we're into the new budget?
More than likely.
Because we don't have this budgeted.
We do not, this is not in the current budget.
So when do you anticipate it will be paid?
I would anticipate we're going to budget for it next year and either pay for it next year or make, make accommodations. If they want something up front to order, then I might have to, put something down on it, which would affect this year's budget, but the intent would be to push as much cost into next year's budget as we can.
So when you know the answer to that, will you let us know?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Trustee Polis,
No questions, Your Honor.
trustee Johnson.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, that being said, roll call, please.
Pierce?
I'm
Trustee
sorry, muted. Aye.
Mason?
Yes.
Dominiac?
Yes.
Polis?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
5 voting yes, 1 absent. This motion is carried. Okay. Administrative report, Jim?
I sent you a message last week about the potential for us to get a vaccination site in the village. It looks like that's moving forward. I think we are going to have the ability, or at least the provider, family medical specialists are going to have the ability to start receiving vaccine, if not already. They may have a few already. I believe they are given some doses in some other clinics. I'm not sure about this one yet, but the idea here would be to, allow some of the staging and logistics, queuing traffic, and just providing whatever support we can supply with maybe cones to help channelize traffic through that parking lot, to allow a local vaccination site to get established. They are getting vaccine from Lake County, but I do believe, this provider will be asking for an insurance card. The county, if you've registered with AllVax and have your email to allow you to make an appointment, that one's a free one. I do not think you get any charge on that one. This is slightly different because it's a private entity doing it. I don't know what the charges exactly are, but this is an effort. We're trying to make an effort to assist and trying to get more vaccination sites. Lake County themselves are thinking that, when more vaccines are available, they're going to be limited by how much the ability to actually get the doses into arms. And this is, kind of a cooperative effort. They've reached out to whatever providers they can get to and whatever municipalities can assist to try to get these vaccination sites established. So I'm going to get some more details on this week, and I'll provide you some more information, hopefully get some more specifics on times and how it's all going to work and maybe even costs. So just letting the board know that looks like it's moving forward. I personally think it would be a good thing to have a local option, and who knows, if they ramped up to 200 or 300 doses a day is what I'm being told. That's that many more people coming into the heart of downtown Antioch. Hopefully they would stop somewhere and maybe eat or spend some money. So I see it as an opportunity, but also just helping with this this massive effort to get vaccinations out there.
I did talk to the manager that's managing this gym today. You were at a couple meetings. He had called me, and I went to Michael's office today, and we're trying to put together some marketing things that he will hand out to the patients or people getting the test, maybe the Shop Antioch or some kind of a guide. So at least we can use it as a marketing tool also. So Michael will be working on that along with him. So hopefully we use this to our advantage as far as helping the small businesses out at the same time, because it sounds like we're going to be getting people from not just the immediate area, but from further away. So it'd be a good way of promoting and letting people know about Antioch. So Michael's going to be working on that. So I don't know if you got anything, Michael, or not, but I know you were earlier today. So, okay.
That's it tonight, Your Honor.
Any questions from the board on that particular situation? Or you want to wait until Jim gets more information on it? Okay. All right. Village clerk?
As reported at the committee meeting, we have now placed the meeting recordings on our website. There's a link on the elected officials page on the left-hand side to all of the meetings that have been uploaded to YouTube for the public to view.
Thank you. All right, trustee reports. Trustee Pierce, I'm not sure if you have any report or not, but I know you've been out a little bit. So do you have any report tonight?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. First of all, I want to thank all my board members, fellow board members for their patience while I was out, and also all the citizens who said kind words and everybody who stepped in and helped cover for me. In the meantime, I do look forward to be back in person in March. But thank you to everybody. My report is two things. One, the police department received national certification for use of force. So they've met the standards and they've been certified, which is a big step forward. They've never had that before. And also we have successfully worked with the school districts and other entities to make sure that we now have a school resource officer in the schools. Officer Nemec is the school resource officer, and I look forward to positive things happening because of that.
Okay, thank you, trustee Pierce. Is that all you have tonight?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Trustee Masek, I know you sent out a report. Do you have anything else to add?
The only thing that we've got some stuff that Jim added on. We got some manhole cover replacements that Jim could do. We had some sewer fails. We had two this week.
Water main breaks.
Water-
Unfortunately, went during the cold weather.
Cold weather.
Yeah.
So, with the one thing I did want to touch on with the breaks and our infrastructure, when people do sit there and say, my water bill is a little high, I'm paying, it's a balanced bill. We pay for, part of that bill goes for keeping our infrastructure, and that's a good example where the infrastructure goes. Price of gas goes up and down, pay goes up, infrastructure stays old, and it's in constant repair. So, seeing a couple comments on Facebook, and it's just a balance. So we had $300,000 coming up with manhole covers we got to replace. That's coming from, different areas of funding. So that's the only thing I wanted to point out on top of what I gave you for my public works report with the shoveling of the snow and the salting.
So $300,000 will be coming from the, from what, enterprise?
It would come from the sewer and water fund, but that is to be budgeted next year.
Right. That's part of our I&I study that we've been working on for the past couple of years, right, Jim?
It's really beginning to address the I&I issues that were identified during that study. So it amounts to a large number of manholes that either need to be rebuilt or lined, or attention needs to be given to them.
Thank you. Is that all you have, trustee Masek?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Trustee Dominiac.
Just a couple things. First of all, Jim, to kind of tag on to your comments about vaccinations, AHA is actually an ambassador for Lake County and is working on materials to help people to understand the importance of getting vaccinated and answer questions. So I wanted people to be aware of that. Lori, question on the recordings. Can you post on Facebook that those are now available?
There is a scheduled post for Wednesday, I believe.
Okay, great.
Announcing a few website. We have village projects on our webpage. It reminds residents of the briefing room and their features, and it announces the YouTube videos.
Okay, thank you for that, because not everybody goes to the website. So they'll go if we tell them that's where they should go look. Thank you for that. I also wanted to, and Dennis isn't here tonight, but I also wanted to thank Public Works for all their efforts. We've had a lot of snow and they've done really a fabulous job of trying to keep up with it. And it sounds like we're going to keep getting snow. So I'm sure they're all exhausted, but they do good work. And the only other thing is that there's a planning and zoning meeting this Thursday night, which is going to be by Zoom if anybody wants to join us. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Dominiac. Thank you. Trustee Pollis.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, trustee Johnson.
I just have one thing. I want to reiterate what trustee Dominiac said. I thought Public Works did a fabulous job over the storm and so forth. I had a few questions I just want, that were brought up to me by the residents. And I did talk to Village Administrator Keim, liaison, trustee Masek, for Public Works, trustee Masek's the liaison. And I did talk to Dennis at Public Works. Some of the residents were just wondering about the fire hydrants being covered and who was to remove snow on them. They thought it was a safety hazard, a public safety hazard. And they were wondering about flags that go on the hydrants. So, talking to them, I did put something out on Facebook and so forth. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, I guess we rely on the residents. We just don't have the manpower to do it and so forth. We have over 1,000 fire hydrants, I believe, right, Jim?
Yes.
In the village, so it would be almost impossible for us to do it. But I think, Jim, and maybe you're the one that brought it up or something about maybe, adopt a fire hydrant program or something where one of the residents, especially the fire hydrants that are not on residential property, is maybe have them do it, or maybe if in special areas where if they request a flag on the hydrants, I know, Jim, you said that kids remove them or they fall off or whatever. Maybe, if they ask for the flags, we could come up with a system of putting a flag on a specific fire hydrant that's in a key area. So that was my suggestion.
Thank you. Anything else, trustee Johnson?
No, that's it, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Okay, nothing else to report. I know we need to go into executive session tonight, pending litigation. So we'll take most people off of the Zoom and we'll keep our board and staff that is going into the meeting. So we'll take a few-minute break here. Okay, I'll need a motion and a second to go in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's moved by trustee Dominiac, seconded by trustee Johnson.
And just to clarify, trustee Aminiak, that's for pending litigation.
For pending litigation, yes, I'm sorry.
There will be no action taken.
No action.
All right, roll call, please.
Pierce,
Aye.
Mason,
Yes.
Dominiac,
Yes.
Paulus,
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
Okay, 5 voting yes, 1 absent, motion is carried.